From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news this morning about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. Your stocks, your crypto, your housing market crash of 2022, and of course, that recession coming next year. In today's major recording, we're going to go over the developing details happening overseas as well. As right today in Brussels on May 29th, leaders will be meeting to embargo that Russian oil once and for all. That will bring a big drop of price of gasoline back in the States. All the latest details on that front as well. But the great news as we go into a big week is a lot of it, a lot of money, and a lot of money available for you. A fourth stimulus check is now in every U.S. state, as viewers have asked me since the month of March to find it for them. And I found it. In this recording, I'm going to go over those four stimulus checks I got for you in every U.S. state, done by executive order by Joseph Biden. We'll go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state and how you can get them. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, stay with me over this incredible broadcast live on air from the shores of Santa Monica, California this morning, and we'll go over those incredible checks. Next up, we're going to go over that Build Back Better Act, which is likely to get voted on the next few days, that will give you additional checks. Then, we'll be turning to the changing, developing details on that student loan debt forgiveness fight. Yes, the recessionary environment and why that recessionary environment helps the Build Back Better Act. Then over to the SS300. The next up is, of course, the major developing details on that price of gasoline and why it's likely to come down very dramatically, very quickly. Then we'll give a guidance on what's happening this coming week. As the stock market had major crashes last week, the housing data crashing, the auto sales crashing, and this is big news because there's likely to be a stimulus stampede. When? In 90 days out from now, a stimulus stampede in which millions of Americans are going to potentially be laid off. We'll be looking at the labor shortage, switching to labor layoffs expected in the next 90 days. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, give me some bacon. If you can. Give me some bacon because the toast is toast and the butter is butter and the coffee is brewing. It's a big, bold, beautiful Mornings Day for Memorial Day weekend. It all starts right here on Mornings. And good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day from May 29, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California, Memorial Day weekend. How are you? Hope you're having a beautiful day. And boy, we got a lot of beautiful money in this recording. Stay with me because a fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and I got big ones for you. Big, massive checks. They're coming up in a second. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, stay with me for the second half because we're going to go over those incredible checks. We're going to go over the other developing details as a deal is going to be signed into law today, yes, on a Sunday, in Brussels for the embargoing of Russian oil. What does this mean? Well, it means the solution for the energy shortage may be upon us. We'll be looking at that front as well. We'll be looking at the recessionary pressures and the downward spirals of the U.S. stock market, the housing market, and the auto sales market. We'll have a preview of tonight's Evenings LA, brand new tonight in prime time at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and tell you where those industries are going and why it's likely to cause what's being predicted as financial carnage 90 days out. That's why it's important for you to be here and get every single check that I have for you over today's recording. And we're going to go over the breaking news with those big checks starting right now. Back in the month of March, viewers of this channel said, LA, the negotiations of the Build Back Better Act were not done. Can you go give me a check? And I looked high and low, and I found those four stimulus checks for you. They are now in every U.S. state. They were done by executive order by Joseph Biden, every U.S. state. Big checks, and these are not puny little $600 checks, upwards of $85,000. Single, married, young, old, with children, without children, on benefits, not on benefits. Rent or own, I got a check for you. It's coming up in just a second. But first, let's turn to the Build Back Better Act, which is likely to get done in the next few weeks. The negotiations are underway between Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer, the Democrat of West Virginia, the Democrat of New York, and the negotiations are going really well. In tonight's Evening LALATE in prime time, I go over the three clusters and the three add-ons of checks, including those MSCs, baby, and the likelihood of provisions failing or surviving. The two provisions that will absolutely fail, we already know. Why? Because in 2021, Joe Manchin says, I'm voting against them. They are anything that expands Medicare and anything for paid leave. So dental, vision, hearing, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, out, gone. And then the paid leave, yep, absolutely not surviving. Everything else looks like it's good to go. We'll have the latest details on each of those incredible checks in prime time tonight on evenings. The negotiations by those two individuals will get you additional checks, those additional checks from the Build Back Better Act on top of the existing fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state, which I'm getting for you later in this recording. Build Back Better Act is supported by two items happening right today. First, the midterm elections. The midterm elections are really important, especially for Democrat control of the Senate to be maintained by Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock is that Democratic senator from Georgia, and his campaign is heating up because he has to win again this coming year. It's a very short term. He's going against Herschel Walker. And the way the Democrats vow to continue control of the Senate is passing Build Back Better Act. Absolutely. Will it get done? Absolutely, it's going to get passed. Absolutely, it's going to get passed. How quickly? We never know how quickly, but absolutely it's going to get passed because the Democrats are trying to retain control of the Senate. The next part of the equation for Build Back Better Act that is supporting it is the implosion of the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy is going down very, very quickly, very, very fast. And tonight's on Evenings LALATE, we're going to go over all the major data. But let's go over some of the data in overview right now as a preview of tonight's Evenings LALATE in prime time. First, the U.S. economy is shrinking. The gross national product of the U.S. economy is shrinking very dramatically. And in fact, it's shrinking exactly where I predicted it. If you're new to this channel and don't know what I do on this channel, I do three things. First, I give you the latest economic financial news of today, stocks, bonds, the U.S. markets. Then I give you prediction of where the U.S. economy is going. The economy, jobs, unemployment, things like that. And then I also get you actual checks. Now, where is this economy going? Well, I had said that the gross national product, which gauge how much the economy is growing, would shrink to 2% by the end of the year. Shrink very, very dramatically, and then down to 0% this end of this year, and then negative next year. Because I've been predicting recession since spring of this year. I've been predicting recessions coming in 2023 for 2 years. Well, we already know that the Department of Labor and the CBO have now confirmed my reporting. They say that the GDP will shrink until the end of this year, and that shrinkage will be really not improving. That's number one. Next, when we look at those inflationary numbers continue to stay very high. And my next prediction is that Jay Powell at that FOMC meeting coming up in just a few days from now in June, which we're going to hear a lot about this coming week, will do a half basis point increase. That half basis point increase is going to hurt you if you have anything flexible at home, like a car payment or a flexible mortgage payment or credit card debt. That prediction I'm giving you right now is he's going to do half basis point in June, half basis point in July, and then a quarter at the August FOMC meeting. Higher interest rates to battle stagnant recession, a stagnant inflation, staying right at about 8%. Number three, here came Friday. This last Friday, we data that came in on the auto market, on the housing market. And on Thursday, we had the labor numbers. And then all last week, we had the retail numbers. What did we learn last week? First, let's look at the housing industry. Let's look at the auto industry. That's the easiest one to understand. The auto industry shows that they are driving on fumes. They are driving on fumes. What are they doing? The auto industry, we learned in data that came in on Friday, they put less cars on the lots in the dealerships. And then they raised the price of the cars even more to give themselves not their average profit of $2,000 like the year before, but a profit of $5,000. So you're a buyer, you go to the car lot, and there's less cars, and now they're priced up even more than ever before. Did you buy? You did not buy. Auto sales were down 24% year to date. That data came on Friday. I'm going to have it tonight on Ian's LA. It shows you the consumer's not stupid. The consumer's not stupid. Why are there less cars and why are they overpriced? You did not buy. Auto industry is in recession. I have that analysis coming up tonight in Ian's LA as well. This is an industry that is running on fumes. They're not focusing on what's going on with the consumer. The next industry running on fumes is the housing industry. The housing industry needs to get hit over the head with a hammer. A lot of metaphors this morning. A lot of metaphors this morning. What is the housing industry doing? The same thing, their version of it. The home builders see the subcontractors asking for more money, higher labor, the cost to build the home going up, more material costs going higher. So what did the home builders do? They had a choice. They understood, as you understand and I understand, that the mortgage rates to buy the homes have surged out of control from 3% in February to 5.5% right now. No one is buying a home at a 5.5% mortgage rate. No one can afford it. No one. So what do the home builders do? When they watch the mortgage rates go from 3 to 5.5%, did the home builders absorb the higher costs and keep the price of the home the same and just give themselves a little bit less profit? Or did they extend the cost to you, the buyer, took the home price and raised it up and said, hey, buy a more expensive home with a higher mortgage rate. Come down the aisle and play the Price is Right. We're going to have a higher price house with a higher price mortgage. Are you going to buy? No, you didn't buy. You did not buy. The housing data that came in on Friday showed, again, the same thing. The home buyer did not buy a higher price house that was the same house from 3 months ago with a higher mortgage rate. They left it alone and they walked away. Housing industry is down dramatically, down 24%, 27% year to date. And 1 in 5 homes has been discounted since the last 30 days. Sellers cannot sell their home. Housing recession, auto recession. This is two industries that are running on fake nuances of the industry and not adapting to the changing environment. All right, let's go to the stock market crash of 2022. So where are we on the stock market crash? We have a long way down to go. I'm sorry to tell you. This is how you need to look at the entire stock market crash of 2022 and 2023. The market will go down 26% in a bear market. And then in a bear market with a recession, you'll go down 48%. How far down have we gone already? 26%. So we've already gone down to the levels of a bear market. The whole market has another 21% downward to go. So don't think we're at the dip. It's not a dip, it's a slide. And we're not at the bottom. We're just halfway down there. Now, that's for the whole market. So if you own Snap and you saw your stock go down 40% in one day, or Target and you saw your stock go down 40% in one day, or Walmart or Abercrombie Fitch go down 30% in one day, don't understand that means you only have 10% left. No, I'm referring to the whole market. So the whole market, like the S&P, like the NASDAQ, like the Dow, the whole market has to go down 48%. So your stock will actually go down even more than everyone else. Target, already down 40%, will go down and all the way down as the rest of the market has to get down to 48%. Yeah, it's that bad. And that is why that's ironically good news for Build Back Better Act. Because the way that legislators get stimulus done is when you're in time of need, they get you the stimulus. When you're in time of need, they get you that stimulus. And this is why that time of need is here. Now, what do we also hear confirmation this last week? Boy, we had a lot of confirmations in my reporting. First, we had confirmation of the GDP. Then we had the confirmation of the inflationary rate. I said the inflation rate is going to come in at 4% later this year in December, and not at the 2% that Jay Powell has been saying. In fact, I was the guy that said inflation would be 8% last December and stay stagnant at 8%. Well, Department of Labor and the CBO both confirmed my reporting, saying that inflation is going to come down to 4% later this year. This is good news if Joe Biden makes that swap from COLA to inflation, because inflation is likely 8% still right now, and you get $200 more per month right now. Then if inflation does track at 4% later this year, that's another $100. That's SS300. All really good news. It's also good news for the Build Back Better Act because the economy is really in a tailspin downward. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's in a tailspin downward. Here comes the next piece of tidbit. economic, financial carnage. Over the last 3 months, I've been telling you that 90 days, well, I would say about the last 2 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been saying for 90 days out from now, you're going to see what I call stimulus stampede. You're going to see millions of Americans coming back on this channel saying, I need a forced stimulus check. Do you got me a forced stimulus check? Why do I say that? Because the labor market is about to get flipped. Labor market's about to get flipped from labor shortage to labor layoffs. We saw the data come in 2 weeks ago. First, when Walmart said, we have the store merchandise in the stores, no one's buying, we have too many employees, this is not going to work. That's another way to say layoffs are coming eventually. Then as soon as I made those recordings, people in the live chat, the wonderful viewers of this channel, you're the eyes and ears of the American economy before I reported. You said in the live chat, LA, I've been in the stores, the big box retailers in the Midwest, and the last week they went from 3 merchants at the checkout stand to none, and just the computer with the electronic checkout. And then other stores, sort of mid-range stores, I go in there, there's usually 3 employees, they're down to 1. And then I speak to my friends and my neighbors and my family members, people being laid off. It's starting. It's starting. You saw it before I could even report it. And I reported it last Thursday. And the new jobless claims numbers came in at 200,000 new jobless claims last Thursday. That's not a good number, folks. That is not a good number. We were 188 coming out of the pandemic. We were 200 going into the pandemic. That's not a good number. And that means as the number increases, more people are going to be looking for that stimulus. When the stimulus stampede starts in 90 days from now, or as the financial carnage is being referred to by Silicon Valley in a new report that's going to be featured tonight on Amy's LA, what's going to happen? People are going to be coming to this channel and repeating the stimulus items of 2020, and they don't exist anymore. And it's going to be a rude awakening. People are going to be laid off and say, hey, I'm a driver. I just got laid off. I'm a 1099. You have some PUA for me? No, there's no more PUA. It's been discontinued. I was laid off from my retail store. Do you have my $600 a week of FPUC still? No, it doesn't exist. It was discontinued 2 years ago. There is no FPUC. There's no PUA. There's no extended UI. Then we'll have the small business owners saying, hey, I'm having problems in my store. People are not coming in to buy. Do you have some small business grants or even small business loans? No, I don't. EIDL grant discontinued. EIDL loan discontinued. People have been coming on this channel saying, what do you have for me? And thank goodness I have a forced stimulus check for you right now. That is why it's great that you're watching the show now, going into June. It's great that you're watching this channel right now because you got to get every darn check available right now. You can't wait for that stimulus stampede to come in 90 days out from now, because when it comes, it's going to hit really hard. And there will be shortages of money like you've never seen as well. Finally, there is the recessionary concern. The recession has been recorded on this channel since the month of February. Since the month of February, I've been reporting that the U.S. economy will be going into recession for 2 years starting in 2023. Now, people who watch financial news like this channel, 81% of them in a new poll say we're going into recession later this year. Later this year? Well, I don't know if I agree to later this year, but the financial outlook is that Americans understand this economy is flipping. It's going from good times to bad times really quickly, really fast. And that is why it's important to get every stimulus check that's available for you. And those 4 stimulus checks I'm going to get for you in the second half of this video. Where do these 4 stimulus checks come from? Let me give you the rundown, starting right now. Back in March, viewers of this channel asked me, Ella, can you go find me a 4 stimulus check? Can you get me a 4 stimulus check? And I looked high and low. It's not hard to find this stuff. It's not easy to find this stuff, I should say. Not easy to find this stuff. Really difficult, hard to find them. And I found it. Executive orders by Joseph Biden. Lots of checks. And we're not talking about puny checks. I'm not here for a $600 check. $600 check you go through in 3 days. It doesn't do anything for anyone. I'm here for big checks. And that's what I have for you in the second half of this video. Up to $85,000 for stimulus checks. Huge. Who are the eligibilities of these checks for? As one wonderful longtime viewer who was in the live chat just a few days ago, her name is Kat. She said, Ella, you do eligibility better than anyone else because you explain it so simply. You can get these checks if you're single, married, On benefits, not on benefits. Make 75,000 less. Single individual, 150,000 less. Married couple, rent, own, with children, not without children, not without children. I don't know. One of those for with children, without children, have children but don't know they're yours. Or, went on Maury and just found out that night. Yeah, I got checks for all of you. Have bacon, not have bacon. Well, I don't know. If you don't have bacon, I don't think I have a check for you. But all those incredible checks are coming up in the second half of this video. Step 1 is very simple. Subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Because in that newsletter is where I put the checks. And that forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. How do you get it? It's coming up after the commercial break. We're going to go over all those incredible checks after the commercial break for you to get, and you can start applying for them over this incredible weekend. Now, let me go to the breaking news on the student loan debt forgiveness before the commercial break, because this one was another one of those dramatic moments of the White House, which I spot on predicted to a T. The President of the United States will be doing $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness, insiders now report, and I told you that months ago. Let's take it back a step. When his run for president was underway, Joseph Biden said he would do $10,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. When he was elected, individuals approached him like Liz Warren, who had YouTube videos, and Chuck Schumer, saying, do $50,000. He said no. He said no every single time someone asked him for $50,000. What happened after that? Liz Warren made these really wonderful YouTube videos where said student loan debt forgiveness should be done because a lot of Americans, their debts were procured by the university who committed fraud against the student. Guess what Joe Biden brilliantly did? He forgave those debts completely. He didn't even just forgive $50,000. He forgave them completely. They were wiped out. Next, the president forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation, work in the nonprofit or public sector as well. That brought us up to the present point, at which 2 weeks ago, I gave the following predictions and the following analysis. Number 1, I told you that the president was going to be meeting with advocates this week, or now last week. Number 1. Number 2, I said to you that he's going to say $10,000, and they're not going to be happy. And number 3, I said that he's going to have made a tactical error in just going with the $10,000 months ago and should not have held this out. What happened? Absolutely 100% of everything I said was going to happen happened. This last week, the President of the United States met with advocates. Those advocates met with the president, expressed their opinions of the situation. He expressed his opinions of the situation. Those were behind door negotiations that no one should know about except you and I, me and my reporting, and you and your listening. And what happened? Those people that went in advocating were so upset with the president, called it a slap in the face, that they went to press and ran their mouths. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not what you want to have happen if you're president of the United States. You don't want to meet with people and then they run their mouths against you. So what did they do? They went to one of the major top 3 newspapers and confirmed 100% of my reporting. They said they went to the White House, the president offered $10,000, and they said, how dare you? That's a slap in the face. You need to do $50,000. He said, no, I'm not. They said, you're a slap in the face, and they went to right to press and they badmouthed him. Joe, the fault is all with Ron Klain. Your chief of staff. I said, this is not how you do it. You should have done the $10,000 like you said. Joe did exactly what he said. He always said he was going to do 10. He should have done it 2 years ago. He was always going to upset someone with the $10,000. It's a number that a lot of people don't like. Just do the number and just run with it. Now he has protests against him. He does not have an announced deal. It's not law yet. And now he looks like a bad person. It's just really not a good situation. Let me tell you the numbers. So the average debt that's outstanding out there is $30,000. These people want $50,000, which is ridiculous. No one's doing $50,000. And number 3, this was the offer, the formal offer from the president. It's not a law, it's just an offer. $150,000 annual income or less, single individual, you can get $10,000 forgiven. Married couple, $300,000 or less annual income, you can get $10,000 forgiven. Does that make sense? Number-wise, no. It makes no sense. I'll tell you why. Because let's say you had a really great year on making money this year, and next year you're in a recession. So guess what? Next year you get your debts forgiven. What? This makes no sense. Let's say this year you made 166,000, so you don't get any debts forgiven. But next year you take a bath and you make $74,000. Then next year you get your debts forgiven. I don't understand this. This makes no sense. I can report to you news, but I can't explain it sometimes. And there you go. Now, in the second half of this video, I'm not reporting the news. I'm getting your checks. In the second half of this video, we're getting some checks, big checks, $80,000 of checks. Step one for you to do before the commercial break is to subscribe. Step 2 is to become a member. Step 3, get that newsletter Monday through Friday. And Step 4, stay with me for the second half. We're getting those big four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, we're live on air from Memorial Day weekend. I told you I was going to be lit for you. We're also going to be here with shows throughout the day. We have a brand new Evenings LA in prime time tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. See you back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the members community page as Mornings LA continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for May 29, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope you have a beautiful day. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. I do first want to touch on a major developing story right today, happening right now. And I'm just going to briefly go over it. I'll have more tonight on Evenings LA. It is oil. The European Commission will be meeting today in Brussels to sign a deal for all the allies to ban Russian oil once and for all. That is why the international price of Brent crude has surged out of control since Friday. If you remember this channel, I sent out the alert on Friday night. It was astronomical news, jaw-dropping news. The price that you're paying for gasoline at the pump this Memorial Day weekend is just getting started because it's going to go up so much more higher. Let me go over the horrible details right now. I had told you that the price of gasoline at the pump right now is going to go to $120 a barrel Brent crude when China comes off of a lockdown in early June. They increase consumption because they're big consumers. That increases shortage, and then the prices go higher. That has not happened yet. That has not happened yet. What is happening today? The Brussels conference will likely sign into law today in Brussels on a Sunday the banning of the Russian oil. And guess what? They have no oil ready to back it up with. Oh, it's just so wonderful. So they are banning the Russian oil, and then they have nothing to come back with. And then China's 2 weeks out from now. So I told you when China comes off a lockdown, we're going to 120 a barrel. Guess what? We're at 120 a barrel right now. Happy Memorial Day weekend. We're at 120 a barrel right now just based upon the Brussels news. How much worse could it go? It's going to go to 130 is my prediction tonight. I'll have it tonight on Evenings LA. And with that, let's go into the four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state are absolutely wonderful. And these are wonderful checks because you need them. And you asked in March, can you find me checks? And I found them for you. You qualify. Single individual, 75,000 less. Married couple, 150,000 less. With children, without children. Benefits, not on benefits. Rent, own, with bacon, without bacon, you all qualify. Let's go over all the incredible details starting right now. The first check is a huge check. I get big checks. I do not get small checks because small checks you use up in a few days and it's unhelpful. I'm here for big checks. And the first one is $6,500 to $12,000. I label the checks in a letter system so that so they're made very simple for you. The first one, $6,500 to $12,000. It's a four stimulus check in every U.S. state. Go get it. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it. How do you get check A? So simple. Step one, subscribe. Step two, go into the membership newsletter down in it, and there it is. At that membership newsletter, which you, first of all, become a member. I left that out. Become a member, then open the membership newsletter. Go down to check A. And at check A, there's a link for the application. Yes, it's online. Yes, it's simple. Click the link, go in and apply, and you are done. $6,500 to $12,000. Wow, that is huge. But you're only done with check A because then you're going to go get check B. You are not looking at a typographical error. That is correct. $15,000 to $80,000 for stimulus checks. My goodness. The average payout of this channel has been about $66,000 to $80,000. Who can get it? Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits like SSI or SSDI, go get it. It is called the Homeowners Grant Check. And how do you get that check? Step one, subscribe. Step two, go down, become a member. Under this video where it says join here, join and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Go into the membership newsletter and then go down to check B. Click the link and apply, and you're ready to rock and roll. But you aren't done there yet because you're going to go get check C. Check C is a check also for renters. Yes, for renters and homeowners. Now, how do you get check C? And what is it? It is an MSC, baby. $2,000 a month over 12 months. Yeah, baby, this is an MSC. And viewers have been getting an average of $45,000 from it. How do you get this? Step one, subscribe. Step two, become a member. Step three, to get that newsletter, go down to check C. At check C, you are not applying online. You're making phone calls. Lots of them, upwards of 15 of them. And the viewers of this channel have been doing real home runs with check C since early 2021. Yes, this is the continuation of the incredible provisions of third stimulus. Let's look at some of the success stories. Here we go for the rent, $20,000 to $30,000. My goodness. Let's look at the utilities, upwards of $15,000 like Mark's brother-in-law. SNAP, $25,000 over 10 years, $250,000. Combo, $23,000 for Nisi. Well, Nisi is among the viewers who keeps on going, getting money. That's how you do it as a Purple Hawk. She gets $8,000 every few weeks. She's over $50,000. Here's Mark. He was at 32. Then Mark, he listened to me record and say, go get more money, Mark. He went from 32,000 to 50,000 to 100,000. Then got check B. He's at 166. You do the same as Mark. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. Now she's at nearly 150,000. Let's recap, and I have another tidbit for you that viewers say is really helpful. Step one, subscribe. Under the video where it says subscribe, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a single video. This is the #1 financial news channel in America that does this. The #3 overall, and the #1 most watched financial show in prime time, evenings LALATE every night at 5 o'clock. You don't want to miss any of the financial news. You don't want to learn when you want to learn where this economy is going before it's there. And you want to get every single check and learn about it as soon as it happens. Number two, become a member. Under the video where it says join here, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Third, there's a little bell under the videos at the front of this channel. Hit that bell so it's all set to all notifications. That way you don't miss the newsletter. That newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. At 7 p.m., you're going to get 2 alerts, one about probably the stream stimulus video, and the other one about the newsletter. The newsletter will say, new YouTube post by LALATE. Then the first line will say newsletter. You click the link. It'll say something like, click here to see the post. You go right to the post, and you're done. There's the newsletter. Now, I've made a self-help video on how to open, use, and manipulate and find the newsletter. And people say this video is really helpful. So you want to see that video? Send me a private message on Facebook and I'll send you the link for the video. It's on YouTube. The private message, send it to facebook.com/LALATE news with the news at the end. And I'll send you that wonderful House Sell Health video. And with that, it's important to recap all the money at issue and where we are on each of these incredible fronts today. First, Jay Powell is likely to raise those interest rates at the June FOMC meeting just a few weeks from now. So those interest rates will come in at a 6% at a half basis point increase at the June FOMC meeting. That means if you have anything flexible at home, get rid of it. Get rid of credit card debt, student loan payments, card loans, anything that is flexible base, switch it to fixed. That's going to happen. Next, the downward spiral of the stock market crash of 2022 just getting started. It's going to continue. The unraveling will continue for 2 more years. We have 20% more down to go for the whole market. The housing market crash of 2022 just getting started. That, like auto sales, is already in recession, but it's likely to hit more abruptly because the data is delayed 90 days out. Then, the Build Back Better Act, just a few weeks away, it will get done, absolutely will get done in my prediction, and will get done before those midterm elections. The fate of the provisions, anything with Medicare and anything with paid leave, definitely not surviving, in my opinion. Then the SS300, Joe needs to make that swap from COLA to inflation by contact the Social Administration head and making that swap so quickly across the board. And stimulus. There's always more checks being found by me, and those more checks, when they're found, are put in the membership newsletter, like the newly found Check D, also brand new. $2,000 automatic stimulus check in some states, about 24 of them. Which chase are they? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. And step 3, get that newsletter and pounce. You can apply for these checks over the weekend because the internet never closes. Coming up next on this channel is noontime. And then we have 1 o'clock afternoons LA, 3 o'clock afternoons LA, and a brand new evenings LA tonight at 5 o'clock. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, to the shores of the East Coast, from the north to the south, hope you have a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. I'll be with you all weekend long. Stay informed, stay focused, keep it positive, keep it motivated, get all this big money. The stimulus stampede is absolutely coming. It is coming 90 days out, and you want to be ahead of all that. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and stay focused, stay blessed, and stay with LA for more.